Right now at noon, an explosion in Sun Prairie has killed one firefighter. What his family and friends are saying about him. Plus, an NFL player is under investigation after he's accused of abusing his ex-girlfriend, and how members of the Thailand boys soccer team are recovering after being trapped in a cave for over 2 weeks.
This is News 3 at noon.
One firefighter is dead and at least a dozen other people injured after a natural gas explosion leveled 2 buildings in Sun Prairie last night. A gas leak led to that explosion, which started a massive fire. Billowing smoke could be seen for miles. That smoke has now cleared, but the rubble left behind serves as a reminder of the tragedy and the toll it's taken on the people living in that community. Our Christina Laurie joins us live from downtown Sun Prairie with more on their stories. Christina.
Hi, Mark. The explosion site, as you can see behind me, is still smoldering in the distance. The firefighter who was killed in that explosion last night has been identified by family and friends as Corey Barr. He's a father, a firefighter, and the owner of the bar house in town, so he's very well known by this community. Earlier this morning, his wife, Amy, shared an emotional post on Facebook, writing, "Trying to find the words and not sure how I can. The husband, the father of my children, a son, an uncle, a brother, and so many other things was taken from this world way too soon." This is the scene where Patrick DePula saw last night. He's the owner and chef at Salvatore Tomato Pies. He witnessed the explosion firsthand, and he calls Corey Barr a friend. He says Barr leaves behind twin girls, and the events of the past 18 hours have left him shaken to his core. Sun Prairie's fire department is a volunteer department and a tight-knit group at that. DePula describes Barr as above all else a family man and was brought to tears when talking about that.
None of this makes sense tonight, honestly. None of this makes sense at all. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's just, I just keep thinking about that family and how this brave firefighter lost his life doing his duty in a devastating, tragic incident in Sun Prairie.
Patrick says that from his understanding, the explosion could have happened in any of the buildings on the street. He says he's fortunate all his crew and customers were able to get out safely. He doesn't know what damage the explosion and resulting fire caused his building, but frankly, he says that is so insignificant on a day like this. We expect to hear from the Sun Prairie Fire Chief at a briefing later today. We have several News 3 crews out here in Sun Prairie, and we'll bring you updates as they become available on air and online. Mark.
All right, Christina Laurie reporting live from the tragedy in Sun Prairie. Thanks very much. As of around 10 o'clock this morning, some residents in Sun Prairie are being allowed to return to their homes. Police say residents living on Flint, Union, Jones, and North Streets, as well as Cronky Drive, Cannery Square, and Cannery Place, can return to their homes. Calls of people wanting to help out those displaced by the explosion are coming into the Red Cross. If you'd like to help those people, the Red Cross says you can sign up to volunteer in the community or donate to the Red Cross or Salvation Army. We'll have that information for you on our website. And as always, stay with News 3 for the very latest on the story. We'll also be updating all day long on channel3000.com. Let's head to the Weather Center now. Meteorologist Chris Reese has a look at our first alert forecast. A July day out there.
It's a very July day. Now, thankfully, the humidity is not all that bad, Mark, and we're still seeing the sunshine out there, so that's good news. Temperatures have already made it into the low 80s this morning, this afternoon now. 81 degrees, dew point still into the upper 50s. All of us are in the 80s for the most part, other than Milwaukee and Manitowoc at 75 and 77. Waukesha also at 79 degrees right now. La Crosse and Black River Falls, some of the warm spots at 86 degrees. But then you see the dew points still drier into the mid and upper 50s for a lot of folks. Some places do have those dew points that have made it into the 60s. And as we go into the afternoon, the dew points will increase just a nudge, but we'll really begin to see that humidity increasing into tomorrow. In terms of sky conditions, we'll keep a lot of those clear skies tonight, starting out into the 60s by tomorrow morning. But, Mark, there are rain chances that I am tracking as well. Here in our main weather segment, I'll be breaking down when we could see some of those.
And we could use some rain.
We could use some rain. It's been dry for quite some time.
We'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you, Chris. A Madison man was found last night in Middleton driving a stolen vehicle with 2 teenage passengers. A Middleton police officer found a stolen vehicle around 6 o'clock in the 7500 block of University Avenue. Officers conducted a traffic stop and made contact with the driver and 2 teen passengers. The driver, 21-year-old Jamaria Shoulders, was arrested on a tentative charge of operating a motor vehicle without the owner's consent. A 17-year-old boy from Fitchburg was cited for possession of a controlled substance and released. A 15-year-old Middleton girl was also released. Police in Georgia are investigating allegations that Buffalo Bills star LaShawn McCoy was behind a violent attack on his former girlfriend. Delisha Corden says that she was attacked while sleeping at his house by a male assailant who hit her in the face with a firearm. A photo provided by her lawyer yesterday shows her apparent injuries. In a statement, Corden's attorney said a male assailant who entered the home while Corden was sleeping demanded specific items of jewelry. McCoy had given her and hit Mrs. Corden in the face with a firearm multiple times. Court records show McCoy has been trying to evict his estranged girlfriend for more than a year.
There's a very clear implication that Mr. McCoy is either involved in this attack or at the very least didn't seem to show a whole lot of interest in Ms. Corden's health after the attack.
McCoy has called the allegations totally baseless and offensive. The NFL and the Buffalo Bills say they're looking into the matter. A Thai health official says the 12 boys and their soccer coach rescued from a cave are in good condition. Officials say the boys showed no signs of stress after the 18-day ordeal, but 2 of the boys do have lung infections. The last 4 boys and the 25-year-old coach were pulled out of the cave yesterday. CBS News has learned the boys and coach were rescued just in time. Hours after the last boy was pulled out, the main water pump in the cave malfunctioned, sending water rushing in.
That's an abort criteria for our guys, and so when that water level started rising, everybody started grabbing their kit and they were ready to get out. Thankfully, that last seal popped up at the last moment, and everyone was able to get out of chamber 3 safely and make their way out, and mission complete.
Unbelievable. All the boys and their coach are expected to be kept at the hospital through the weekend. President Trump used the start of the NATO summit in Belgium this morning to go after one of America's closest allies, Germany.
Well, I have to say, I think it's very sad when Germany makes a massive oil and gas deal with Russia, where you're supposed to be guarding against Russia, and Germany goes out and pays billions and billions of dollars a year to Russia.
The president appeared to be talking about the deal with Gazprom. The Russian energy company has agreed to install a new pipeline to deliver gas to Germany. The president acknowledged he discussed the pipeline directly with German Chancellor Angela Merkel. The president is also using the NATO summit to continue to push his message that NATO allies need to spend more money on defense. There's more to come on News 3 at noon. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
It's as easy as dump, mix, sprinkle, and bake. And the results will make your taste buds very happy. When it comes to desserts, we all want ones that taste homemade, yet we often don't have the time to make it from scratch. If that sounds like you, then now would be the time to turn up the volume, because we've got a dump cake that's super fast and super tasty. All we do is dump a good amount of fresh or frozen blueberries, some sugar, a bit of lemon zest, and a squeeze of fresh lemon juice in a 9x13 pan, and give it a good stir. On top of that, we sprinkle a box of lemon cake mix before finishing it off with some pats of butter. Yup, it's that simple, and yes, the cake mix is the dry mix right out of the box. Now, this goes into the oven for about 45 minutes or until it's golden and the blueberries are bubbling. You see, the tartness of the lemon and the sweetness of the blueberries make a winning combination. And as you can see, it doesn't get any easier than this, since all we do is dump, mix, sprinkle, and bake. And when you dish this up with some whipped cream, you can bet this will be on your most requested list week after week. I do hope you'll go online after the news and get the recipe for our citrus berry dump cake so you can enjoy a homemade taste without all the work. Hey, Kelly, you want to try some? I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen with Kelly, who rarely says no to dessert, especially when it's, as we say here, ooh, it's so good.
All right, guys, thank you. Coming up on News 3 at noon, we'll have the latest egg and stock numbers, plus another dry and warm day across southern Wisconsin. So we'll be seeing any rain anytime soon. Meteorologist Chris Reese has your first alert forecast when we come back. Our Call for Action phone bank is open right now, ready to take on your consumer issues. You can call our hotline. Volunteers will help you with any consumer complaints. The number is 608-270-2833. The service is open every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 11 and 1. Let's check Wall Street at the noon hour. The Dow Industrial is down 174 points. The NASDAQ off over 40. Q106 Farm Director Pam Yaki out of the radio barn today, so here are your egg numbers. And Pam will return on Monday. Let's head to the backyard weather patio now. Chris Reese, kind of warm out there today.
It is warm out here. Not too bad, though. The good thing is the humidity isn't much of an issue, but we've got a sky full of sunshine out here this afternoon. That's going to be the theme as we go through the rest of today. Now, we've been dry for quite some time. In fact, for the month of July, we've only seen about 4/10 of an inch of rain. And that is not necessarily the best thing. In fact, the driest July on record only saw 3/10 of an inch of rain. So at this pace, if we were to see no more rain for the whole month, well, we'd make place for the second driest July on record. Now, here's the thing. We do still have more than half of the month to go, and there are some rain chances to talk about. We'll be discussing those in the forecast. Now, we're not tracking any rainfall towards us here in Madison immediately, but winds are coming out of the south and southeast now. So we're starting to get in on that warming process that'll take place as we go through coming days. 81 degrees right now. Dew points are still into the upper 50s, so it is comfortable. That is the good news. Temperatures are pretty much in the 80s all across the Midwest so far this afternoon. Dew points are in the upper 50s here, but they're in the 60s as you work your way back towards the west over Iowa and Minnesota. That's where we're going to see those temperatures begin to feel a bit warmer and eventually get a bit more sticky in the coming days. This dome of high pressure sliding to the south and east. That warm, humid air will then be building in to south central Wisconsin, especially during the day on your Thursday. Now, by the time we get you Thursday night into Friday, we're going to be watching a cold front arriving from the north and northwest. That cold front will bring chances for some showers and thunderstorms into our picture. Now, let's go ahead and talk tropics. It's vacation season. A lot of folks are headed to the beaches, and you want to know, what are the tropics looking like? Well, I do want to go ahead and show you guys Hurricane Chris, not related in any way, shape, or form, but we do share a name. He is Category 2 hurricane right now. The good news is he's not expected to be a threat to land in any way, shape, or form. Hurricane Chris is going to track over the northern Atlantic, weakening to a Category 1 and eventually a tropical depression, so he will not be an issue by any means. But it will feel tropical, especially as we go into the weekend with that heat and the humidity making a comeback. Upper 80s, feeling like the low to mid 90s some of those days, and then eventually we will get cool downs to more average seasonal temperatures as we get you towards this time on next week. For this afternoon, will be mostly sunny and very warm. You'll see a high right around 86 degrees, 87 for your Thursday with a chance of showers and thunderstorms late Thursday and into your Friday. But the shower and thunderstorm chance does linger as we go throughout the weekend. 84 on Saturday, then warming back up to 87 on Sunday. Now by Monday and Tuesday, we do begin to cool things down a little bit. That's where it's more average. The average high for this time of the year, 82. We'll see some days around 82 or below in the 80s, maybe some days getting stuck in the 70s. It's what we can hope for. It doesn't look to be humid as we go through those days either. So we've had this hot stretch of weather. It's going to be hot this weekend, but a nice little stretch of weather looking to come up next week.
I know 90s there. That's not too bad.
No 90s. No.
All right. And you're kind of proud of this hurricane.
I am proud of it. I've wanted a hurricane named Chris since I was a kid.
Here you go.
We've only had Tropical Storm Chris. Now it's Hurricane Chris.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm out in the backyard because Angie Horkin from the Wisconsin Beef Council is here. We're going to be cooking up some steaks. Ready for this, Chris?
I'm ready.
All right. Well, it's coming up right after the break. It is grilling weather, that's for sure. And Angie Horkin from the Wisconsin Beef Council is here. A couple of great recipes.
Right.
You guys do the grilling forecast, right? Once in a while.
We do, yeah.
This is a four griller today.
4 grills today.
so.
All right. So what are we making today, Angie?
Well, I got 2 steak cuts for the grill, very different than June, because these are kind of economical steaks, so they need a little tender loving care before you put them on the grill. They're not grill ready, but they cost less. So if you're looking save a little money.
You had ribeyes and prime
T-bones
and all
and
that.
fillets, all that.
We can all afford this.
Glad it's lunchtime.
Yes,
This
it
sounds
is.
great.
Let's go.
The first cut is a chuck steak, so just kind of like a chuck roast, and you wouldn't throw a chuck roast on the grill. You need to cook that low and slow, so we need to marinate the chuck steak. So marinating is the best way to take these economical cuts and tenderize them. So we're going to actually make a homemade barbecue sauce. So you start with 1 onion,
Chris is going to help.
Okay.
diced.
Now,
so you can put it right in
I
there.
am not the grill master, but I love to cook. So you got it.
All right.
That's
So we're
okay.
gonna start
So
with
onions.
1 cup of ketchup,
All right,
Ketchup.
onion, ketchup.
some brown sugar,
Brown sugar. We'll
that
tag
all
team
in
on
there.
this. How's
Okay.
that?
All right,
red
sounds
wine.
good.
Okay, brown sugar.
Okay.
Yep, red wine vinegar.
That's this one, right?
Yes.
Seems good.
Worcestershire.
You know, my friend's dad has an interesting name for this. He can't pronounce it. He calls it Worcestershire sauce.
I don't think
It's great.
I probably pronounced
It's
it.
great.
And then a
Too
little
many
crushed red
syllables
pepper.
there. A little pepper. Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
Mix her up.
so you just mix that up. If you want to do it with that. And then you're going to use half of that and put it in a Ziploc bag and marinate the chuck steaks overnight. And then save the other half, and you can thicken it up in a saucepan on the stove.
So this is the finished product?
Yeah, 10 to 15 minutes, and then you can use, it's a double duty. You're using half of it as the marinade to tenderize, because it's got the red wine vinegar in there, and then the other half as an extra barbecue sauce, so if you'd like more when you eat. It's really, really good.
Smells good. All right, what's next?
So the second
All right.
recipe is Spanish-style grilled steaks with olives, and I'm using petite sirloin steaks. Sirloin's very versatile. You don't have to marinate it, but you definitely can, and then you can just marinate up to 2 hours to make it even more tender for the grill.
So a petite cut, do you just take a regular one and cut it up?
Yeah, they take a regular one and they kind of come in long, almost like fingers, and they're really nice for the grill because you've already got your 3-ounce serving size there, so everybody can get their own steak, and then you grill them alongside some peppers. And I marinated these just a couple hours in some extra virgin olive oil, paprika, gives them a little Spanish flair, and then sherry wine vinegar.
Okay.
So a little different. Garlic. And then you save some of the marinade. It's going to do double duty too. Don't put that in with your steaks.
And that's
Save
safe to
that.
use.
And yeah, because
Unlike
I didn't put it in with the steaks. I kept it on the side.
Okay.
But if you do want to use your marinade that you've already marinated your raw steak in, just bring it up to a boil.
Okay.
You can definitely reuse it. Just bring it up to a boil, and then it's safe. But this I added a little brown sugar to, and you can drizzle that over the top.
Some peppers on top, some
Serve it.
olives.
Pull this off.
Looking good.
Serve with some olives and some fresh cilantro. And you've got a Spanish-style petite sirloin steak.
Everything on there is good.
Yeah.
A little
This
cilantro.
looks
Cilantro's
absolutely
wilting in the
awesome.
heat.
I know.
Recipes online, beeftips.com.
Yes.
Angie, a couple of great recipes as usual.
Thank you. Enjoy grilling this summer.
You bring some plates, I hope?
Yes, definitely.
All right. And grilling weather continues.
Grilling weather does continue. We've got temperatures that have been pretty much in the 80s today, 81 degrees right now. Now, as we go through the rest of today, we'll see those temperatures top out right around 86 before we begin to cool things back off into the 70s overnight. And then as we go into tomorrow, it's going to be a pretty toasty day, warming all the way up to about 87 degrees, cooling off into the low 60s tonight.
And humid.
And humid tomorrow.
All right, enjoy today. That's our time for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here at 4. Have a great afternoon.